Okay, sir, start the program.
Hello. Start. A very good morning to all dignitaries, faculty member, and dear participants. I am Professor Jiten Mishra on behalf of Truba Group of Institute of Engineering and Information Technology, Bhopal. Welcome you all. Entrepreneurship Development Cell of Truba Institute of Engineering and Information Technology, Bhopal, under Institute Innovations Council IIC Truba, is organizing a workshop on entrepreneurship, skill, attitude, and behavior development. I am pleased to welcome today's speaker, Dr. Sushant Singh, Associate Professor, MIT University, Raipur, Chhattisgarh. Again, I am pleased to welcome Shri Shyam Rathod, Chairman, Truba Group of Institute, Bhopal. I also welcome President, IIC Truba, Dr. Manish Manoria, Executive Director, Truba Group of Institute, Bhopal, for continuous support and guidance. I welcome Vice President, IIC Truba, Dr. Sanjay Sharma, Principal, TIIT, Bhopal. I welcome Convener, IIC Truba, Dr. Manoj Tyagi, Principal, TCST, Bhopal. I welcome Coordinator, Entrepreneurship Development Cell, Professor Amit Khare, HOD, TIIT. I welcome Coordinator, Entrepreneurship Development Cell, Professor Amit Khare, HOD, ME, TIIT, Bhopal. A brief introduction of our today's expert. We are honored to welcome Dr. Sushant Singh, Associate Professor, Amity Institute of Biotechnology, Amity University, Raipur, Chhattisgarh. Dr. Sushant Singh is an Associate Professor at Amity University of Biotechnology, Amity, Chhattisgarh, since March 2021. Before joining Amity University, he was a research associate at University of Central Florida, USA, November 2016 to September 2019. Prior to this, he was a postdoctoral fellow at the College of Medicine, Ohio State University, Columbus, Ohio, USA, and Sanford Burnham Frapp's Medical Discovery Institute, Ohio, Florida, USA, October 2014 to November 2016. He is currently professor in charge, Amity Institute of Biotechnology, March 2021 onward, and taking care of research and development activities within the department. He is also a life member of Biotech Research Society, BRSI India, and Society of Biological Chemists, SBC India. To his credit, he has a 2 patents, 1 international and 1 national. He has published over 35 research articles in peer review international journal and over 50 conference presentations proceeding inviting talk. He has written 3 book chapters as well. He has an active reviewer of several journals in biotechnology, nanotechnology, and life science division. Currently, he is active involved as a member of Institute Innovations Council IIC, Amity Innovations Incubators, and as a coordinator of internalizations and research development activities of the Amity Institute of Biotechnology, Amity, Chhattisgarh. Now, I request Dr. Sushant Singh to start today's session. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Daniel, sir, for such a wonderful introduction. And I hope my voice is clear, right? Am I audible completely?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible.
Yeah, so I'm trying to share my screen, sir. Please allow me to share my screen.
Just a moment. Just a moment, sir.
Okay. Okay, I guess now I can share, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. Okay, thank you. Let me know once the screen is visible. Just a couple of. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I guess now it is more better, right? I'll just
Sir,
keep this.
screen is not visible yet.
The screen is not visible. Okay. Let me. Yeah, it's showing visible from my side. I don't know. Just okay. Yeah, just let me open system preference. Allow. Okay. Yeah, just hold on just a second. I need to input password. This is Mac, so it always gives me an issue whenever I try something new. Okay. Quit and
Sir, if you can please rejoin.
Yeah, that's what it's asking me to rejoin and
होस्ट बन बिना होस्ट के नहीं होगा बिना होस्ट के स्क्रीन से नहीं बना देगा ज्वाइन कर दे दोबारा शेयर नहीं कर पा रहे हेलो सर जी सर अच्छा सर इसको घुमा दिखा दो हाँ जी 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 हाँ चलिए थर्ड नंबर उसका और बस वही करो ना वो होस्ट है वही कैसा
Sir, your PPT is visible. Sir, your PPT is visible.
yeah, I need to be host. Yeah, thank you. I need to be host to unmute my mic actually.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, now I think the PPT is visible, right?
PPT is visible and your voice is also visible, sir.
Okay, thank you. Voice can be heard, sir, not visible. But thank you, sir. Thank you so much for such a wonderful introduction. And just let me hide this whole screen. Otherwise, my whole screen would be visible to you. Okay, thank you so much, Truba Institute of Engineering and Technology, Engineering and Information Technology, Bhopal, for inviting me this one. And the talk on today is entrepreneurship skill, attitude, behavior, and development. Before I venture into the whole of entrepreneurship, which is very mind-boggling and is very much interesting topic for the students nowadays, let me go through a little bit about MET, because this is what I am representing right now in India. MET, you must have heard MET University, but basically we call it as universe because of its strength and the content what we have. MIT University itself has around like now 27 years of educational experience in this field, and almost of that 24 years goes to management education experience. In terms of student strength, we are almost like 150,000 students. Faculties 6,000, paper published 15,000, and books are more than 5,000. So you can understand what MIT University content is. It is so much of volume that it really takes us an effort to know each and every faculty into this institution. I'm unable to change my slides, sir. Yeah, now I can change. So coming to this MIT University, we have almost 1,200 acres of campus, 9 universities spread all around India. And MIT University also has 14 international campus. Now, the reason being of this international campus is that this is where MIT University gives exposure to the students about what is happening at the international level in terms of education, in terms of research, and in terms of the overall development of our students. We have 13 B schools in India and also more than 300 programs. You just talk about any program related to science, management, engineering, anything, and I'm sure MIT University in one of its campus must be having that kind of program. Coming to research, which is one of the core area where MIT is getting involved too much, we have more than 400 projects, more than 25,000 publications, and that number is increasing. And you would be surprised to know that MIT University is one of the leading university in India right now who has patents. And recently we were awarded an award from the central government for leading highest number of patents in a year, and that too we were ahead of some of those national repute institutes like IITs and NITs. Now, this is one important thing. That's why I needed to introduce you to MIT University, MIT Innovation Incubator, MIT Innovation Incubator, which supports all the incubations, all the startup that is being promoted by MIT faculties, MIT students, and all over the different campuses. So this MIT Innovation Incubator, we have MIT Innovation Incubation in Raipur as well, where support is being given to those innovative ideas that are being upcome by students on all those faculties who are interested in that, and we are a part of it. And this is where, you know, when these ideas and all those things, the startup material comes at the very initial stage, we really need to have an innovative incubator center to support us. And this is what has been going on in and around India, everywhere, where these innovation incubator centers are being brought up. Coming to the entrepreneurship, this is what the topic of the day, and this is a very interesting area. I think this is one of the area where I have ventured initially. It has been more than a couple of years I have been into this entrepreneurship, and I must say I'm still quite far away from this one in terms of understanding. And the more you understand, the more interesting it becomes. So before we venture into what does an entrepreneurship means, what is an enterprise, management, finance, business, idea, let's go into the concepts of entrepreneurship and explore the meaning of entrepreneur, and also we can know who can be entrepreneur at the end, because you know there are certain qualities that make you entrepreneur over the time. By definition, if we look around, an entrepreneur is someone who is exercises initiative by organizing a venture to take the benefit of an opportunity, and as the decision maker decides what, how, when of a good or service will be produced. So you must, the students and everyone, like we as a faculty also, we have must come through this word entrepreneur. Now, when we look for describing what is an entrepreneur, is people say a person who creates a business, people say a person who gives a job, people say a person who invents something, people say a person who does a risky business, people say a person who creates wealth for himself, his country, and all those places. I think each and every part of this comes under an entrepreneurship, and the person who works into all those different areas, he is an entrepreneur. Some of the basic qualities of an entrepreneur you can see here in the slide is hardworking, risk taker, creative, optimistic, trustworthy, ambitious, thinker, leader, money-driven, intelligent, creative, cautious, analytical, cautious. So these are all the different features of an entrepreneur. And this is where he is involved into creating something that leads him further, that's known to him. There are a lot many different characteristics of an entrepreneur. We will slowly go one by one. Let's go to this one. Let's go to some of those basic definitions that comes in our mind, because this is what we do. Like, whenever there is a word coming up, we go to some kind of definition. So if you look into an Oxford dictionary, like, this is what the basic thing we do. An entrepreneur is a person who sets up a business. A person who sets up a business is taking on financial risk in the hope of profit. I think they have narrowed down the whole gist of entrepreneurship in just 2 lines. Like, a person who sets up a business and businesses and takes financial risk in hope of a profit. If you go to an international encyclopedia, an entrepreneur is an individual who bears the risk of operating a business in face of uncertainty about the future conditions. I think this is also true, because you exactly don't know what will happen in the future. Nobody knew COVID would be coming, and nobody knew in this COVID disaster, adversity would be an opportunity for many of us Indian here. There are other also definitions given by some of these known personalities, like Schumpeter's definition. The entrepreneur is an advanced economy, is an individual who introduced something new in the economy, a method of production not yet tested by experience in the branch of manufacturing, a product which has consumers and are not yet familiar, a new source of raw material and a new market, and the like. I'm sure many of the students who must be going through definition this long, what you can think about is something which is available in the market which was not available previously. This is the gist of this whole definition, and we go for that one. For example, like, there are certain apps, there are certain online companies, online marketing companies and all those things, online product developing companies. Those were not there, and now we solely depend on them. According to Adam Smith definition, the entrepreneur is an individual who forms an organization for commercial purpose. Like, there are a lot many different commercial purpose, commercial activities are coming, and these are the new entrepreneurs. He and she is a proprietary capitalist, a supplier of capital, and at the same time a manager who intervenes between labor and consumer. So entrepreneur is basically an employer, a merchant, master, but explicitly considered as a capitalist. Obviously this is also true, because money creates money, and this is where an entrepreneur individual who comes and that develops a certain wealth in such a way that we as a local people, we as a commoner, we need those things, and that's what makes them an entrepreneur. So there are all the different versions of a same definition, but it's good to go through that one. According to Peter of Drucker views on entrepreneur, an entrepreneur is the one who always searches for a change, responds to it, and exploits is an opportunity. I think this is what we learned in this COVID scenario, to find opportunity in terms of adversity. Innovation is a specific tool of entrepreneur. Definitely innovation is something which is really needed. The means by which they exploit changes as an opportunity for a different business on different services. So this is where these are the definition of an entrepreneurship. Now coming to this, in the 20th century, the theorist Arthur H. Cole defined the entrepreneurship as an organization builder. I think this is something which has narrowed down in just 2 words: organization builder. Now that organization can be anything. It can be an institute, it can be a company, it can be an online selling company, it can be a food manufacturing company, anything. And this is what we now in India, we are looking for, an organization builder, because ultimately this is what will let us to build our India in a new scenario. I'm sure you must have gone through all those different people who are here in my desktop right now. These are the famous entrepreneurs in India, and we know by their name and by what we do. And I'm sure every must be using all those things. So starting with Ritesh Agarwal, when I came to India, I was traveling kind of in a bit. I was traveling from city to city, and this is what I got to know, that there is an Oyo hotel, Oyo rooms in Oyo hotel. I was very much introduced to that part, and I was surprised. The easiest way of doing and booking a room was through Oyo. This is what Ritesh Agarwal has invented. Ritesh Agarwal Venture Oyo Townhouse concept. He is one of the leading famous entrepreneur in India. Coming next to is Paytm. I don't want to discuss much about Paytm, because we all know, I still remember my PhD days when I was doing my phone recharge using this Paytm. So I know Paytm since long and how far it has come. Today, I think each and every mobile has a UPI app for payment that becomes a Paytm nowadays. Byju's Ravindran, you will be surprised to know before COVID, Byju's Ravindran was a good company, I will say, not exactly too big and all those things, but in this lockdown period where the online education was evolving, Byju's Ravindran grow up to 200 times, and now this is one of the leading online educating company in India right now. You can just think about why Byju's is big enough because it has its brand logo on Indian cricket team. So you can think of it was having in Indian cricket team. So you can think of how much money he must be earning and how much employment and how much thing he must be giving around. So this is what Byju's Ravindran. Coming to Ola, Bhavish Agarwal, you must have used Ola somewhere. You know how it's easy nowadays and easy and safe and secure. Like, you know, I have been a part of an Ola and all those things I have been using. Coming to Kunal Shaw, founder of Free Charge and Cred. Those Cred ad you must be seeing around. So this is one of the leading, and this Cred is going to be a very big entrepreneurship in future because, you know, we are going to use credits and all those things. This is what the world has been using, and this is very much introduced in India right now. So you can think of how fast forward these people are thinking. No, this is where they make them onto my desktop now, not we. Like, you know, we are not onto anyone's desktop. That will be privileged to be onto somewhere else. Coming to Binny Bansal and Sachin Bansal, Flipkart, you must have heard about Flipkart and all those things. I'm not going too much deep into that. And in a similar way, there is a founder of Big Basket, Manmohan, I guess. So these are all the famous entrepreneurs in India right now. In male category, similarly, we have female category of a famous entrepreneur, Kiran Majumdar Shaw. I don't think she needs an introduction. She is the leading lady of Biocon Limited Health Industry. Anisha Shah, founder of Medela Online Industry, online coupons from there. Shraddha Sharma, Your Story Online media partner. Upasana Tauk, MobiWik. This is a financial technology company. And I'm sure you must have heard about Falguni Nair, the Nykaa industry, which has created immense wealth with their startups and with their business ideas. They are the leading women entrepreneur in India. Vandana Luthra, VLCC, you must have heard about VLCC product. That's costly and that's the best of the quality available around the world. Neeru Sharma, Malika Sadani, Gajala Kalra, and then Nishaba Godrej. They are everywhere. Women's entrepreneurs are everywhere in every aspect. Let's go to the next slide. I'm sure you must have heard through Shark Tank India. This is one of the leading program, was aired in India recently back. Now, what is all the first about this program? Why it is that much of important? The reason being, they are the leading entrepreneur in India, and this is where they are treating the other people to come up and discuss their ideas, and this is where they would be funding around. You know, Vinita Singh, Piyush Bansal, Gajala, Ajin Grover, Aman Gupta, Namita Thapar. I'm sure you must be using. Let's go to Piyush Bansal, the founder of CSO Lenskart. This is what Lenskart we are doing. Like, you know, he has made the this spectacle and the glass is so easy that you can get it what you want sitting at your home in another couple of days, which was not that part when before the Lenskart came in. It was too difficult for us. Either we had to go to the shop, we had to give our size, glasses, power, everything, and then it will take another 10-15 days because that will be transported back from the source of its manufacture to you. And then there were like a couple of traditional classic glasses. Nowadays he has changed a lot every month. Like, you know, it's very much easy for this. Mama Earth, the new product which is coming out around India, like, you know, for babies and all those things, they have been going all along. Ashneer Grover, founder of Bharat Pay, Bharat Pay, you can think of about UPI. Everyone, even a person who is like, you know, not that much literate, he can use easily comfort with his phone, transfer and can get money using Bharat Pay. So you don't think about the product they have, think about the idea how they got generated. This is what will make you grow. This is what will make your brain grow. Aman Gupta, both, you know, this is what we used to do right now, wireless boards and all those things. Coming to Namita Thapar, that is MCR Pharmaceuticals and Anupam Mittal I think they have made what the world is where we are heading around. So all their startups, these in thousands of crore, they have made money, and thousands of people they have given an opportunity to serve them, to serve the country and to earn their livelihood. This is all about entrepreneurship. And I'm sure you must have gone through some of those. I have been a regular watcher of this entrepreneurship over the course, not because I wanted to see, because the idea you generate from those people who will keep on coming. I think someone is playing on the screen right now. The moderator can take care of that one. So this is where Shark Tank India was there. You, by watching these episodes and all those things, you could have easily seen about those ideas that coming up into the section. Now coming to type of entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship, many people related to business, many people related to opportunities and all those things. You can easily differentiate that part. So type of entrepreneurship, if you look into those entrepreneurship based on business types, it's either trading, it's manufacturing entrepreneurship, agricultural entrepreneurship. Those are the different categories of entrepreneurship based on what type of business basically you are involved, based on technology, technical entrepreneurship, non-technical entrepreneurship, based on ownership. It may be a private firm, it may be a state firm, it may be a joint entrepreneurship firm based on gender, men entrepreneurship, women entrepreneurship, based on enterprise size. It may be a small scale and a medium scale. It's not necessary that your businesses has to be too big. It can be based on couple of people as well. That's it. Let me go to this one. Two people. There are certain online educational platform run by two people. That is itself is an entrepreneurship, small scale entrepreneurship. Then there is a medium scale, and then there is a large scale entrepreneurship. Coming to other different kind of entrepreneurship, we have based on this Clarence Dunhoff innovative entrepreneurship. Innovative means something which was not there and that has been invented. Imitative entrepreneurship, this is something which already been there and people are using, and then there is another company of a similar venture. For example, you see Ola, Uber, Lyft, they are the same company. What they give you the transportation, like a basic transportation they give you, and they're the same company. There is no other difference whether you use Ola or whether you use another venture. Coming to imitative, coming to Fabian entrepreneurship and drone entrepreneurship, these are other different kinds of very new entrepreneurship getting involved in here. Coming to big business enterprises, I'm sure the way we saw some of the slides of Indian entrepreneurship and all those people around, what you can see here is those people who have given job to millions. Now you see what was the strength of their idea, what was the strength of their thinking that made them people who govern countries like this. Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon. You cannot think of any product Amazon doesn't have that at this point of time. You just ask one. I was in US for 5 years, and Amazon has that capability to deliver a product which I ordered 12 p.m. in the night, and Amazon has that capability that it can deliver that product by 8 a.m. in the morning next day. He was having that much of strategy they have made it out. So you can think of that. The same thing is being introduced in India as well. 2-day delivery. You can think of sitting in Chennai ordering a product which is only available in Delhi, and within 2 days you'll be have. Just think about 10 years back how it was. We were occupying into that one. How we were getting that one. It was very, very tough for us to go through those kind of things. So nowadays they are making things very, very easy for, and it is just solely.
One second, Sushant sir.
Yes, sir, please.
Sir, please disable the annotation from your end.
Annotations from my end. Where it is? Can you show me? Okay. I just saw it from the top. Yeah, disable the annotation. I'm unable to do so, sir. It's not taking up here.
And also you can erase, sir.
Okay, and can I clear everything? Clear all my drawings? Okay.
Okay, now okay, sir.
Now okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So these Jeff Bezos, then there is Bill Gates, Microsoft. Everyone is having a laptop in their hand. You can easily think of Bill Gates. Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, the company turned into Meta. Now you can think of what Facebook has done. It has made so many people closer to each other that you won't be able to believe. Groups and circles. Jack Ma, he's the leading online portal in China. China is the one of the country with the biggest population, the largest population in India, and you can in US, the China itself, not India, USA, the entire world. I was going to tell, and you can think of he is one of the wealthiest person in this world, and he's not that literate. Coming to Elon Musk, the person who has vision in his when we talk about Elon Musk, we always say Mars. Why want to go to Mars? Why can't we make our Mother Earth more beautiful that we can stay? But think that a person has a vision that one day people will be staying in Mars. When he was telling at the very beginning, earliest, 10, 20, 10 years back, somewhere when he was telling that a private company can launch rocket to space, people were laughing at him. He has made it possible. He said you can have space tourism. People were laughing at him. He has made that possible too. Now he's talking about Mars. People are laughing at him again. But believe me, the day will come when people will go to Mars and they will inhabit. Maybe may not be around here. There may be more than the upcoming 10, 20 generations may pass. But that day will be for sure because things have been working. Somewhere the person has had a vision in his mind and he is working onto that category. Larry Page, Google, no need to say what Google has done. Warren Buffett, he's the wealthiest investor in all the different firms. This is where he promotes entrepreneurship. Bernard Arnold, Carlos Helu, these are the Mexican people around. Bernard is a brand one, no? The brand that is followed by millions and millions of people in the world. Elon Musk, all around entrepreneur. There are certain things that there are certain things each entrepreneur has special in it. When we talk about Elon Musk, the special thing about him is take risk. If there's only one lesson you can learn from Elon Musk, is all about taking risk. He has taken risk for space project. He has taken risk for his space tourism project, Mars project, and all those things. And he has been successful. Coming to Jeff Bezos, the only thing we can take, I have kept this slide because each person has his own speciality, and this is where we really need to learn, and this is where we really need to find out what special we have in ourselves. So if we talk about Jeff Bezos, only lesson we can learn from Jeff Bezos is start small, grow big. Start small. There is no need to have a very large a venture for you. You can start with a very small, and over the course of time you can grow big. There was a time when Amazon was having few hundred employees, and there is a time when Amazon is having few thousand employees. So you see the difference between few hundred to few thousand. It has taken certain time. This is where people have this is where the stuff has grown. Coming to Oprah Winfrey, she was the leading philanthropist as well as African American woman who was known for hosting show and believed that the show for 24 consecutive seasons since 1986, that was the #1 show in US. And the only lesson that you can learn from Oprah Winfrey is your personal brand matters a lot. How you present yourself, that is something which does. Because in a talking show, in a host show, what is important? How you talk, how you present, how you let the people know about other things stuff. So that is something very important. Steve Jobs, I'm sure you all know Steve Jobs, the person behind Apple. And the only thing figured what Steve Jobs is that put a dent in the universe. Put a dent in the universe means make a mark of you. With his vision, he has made a mark. He has created a company which is sought by each and everyone. A person who wants to own a mobile, the very first thing in his mind is coming to as an Apple. A person who wants to own a technology-based instrumentation, technology-based computer, whether it's laptop, phone, watch, anything, he wants to have the very first thing, the qualitative brand that has been created is an Apple. That is something which I would like to say. Coming to the next stuff in Indian industry, also people have made that kind of mark, starting with Mukesh Ambani, Vijay Sharma, Shiv Nadar, Ritesh Agarwal. These are some of those people which I really like what they have done. Coming to Mukesh Ambani is simply one line: disrupt the industry. What Jio did. You saw there was a time when people used to stand in a queue of 100 just to get a Jio SIM. Why? Because he disrupted the industry of internet. He gave a phone to each and everyone in their hand with a 1 GB, 2 GB data. This is what Indian people needed at that point of time because internet was costly. Everything is on internet now, and this is what he thought of. So you can think how Jio has marketed in such a way that we are fan of Geo. Like, everyone, everywhere you go, a person is sitting with a phone, would do what? Using internet, getting information. And ultimately what you are doing here is you are making the crowd literate. Like, so this is what he got his nerves. Vijay Sharma, look for the opportunities. There was a time when no other company was doing online recharge of the phone. In the middle of the night, your phone got stop just because your balance is done. What you do, you need to call your neighbor, you need to call the shop owner, you need to call people have been doing that stuff. Then what he thought of investing in an online recharge company, and that's what Paytm was initially. Now Paytm is an e-commerce payment system. Even they have a Paytm bank as well, online bank. There is no need for you to visit to a bank. Shiv Nadar, the person who is behind HCL Technologies, better new and growing sector. This was his mool mantra. Better new and growing sector was when Microsoft is for in USA, HCL is in India. You can just think about Ritesh Agarwal. Find the right mentor. I'll tell you a story about Ritesh Agarwal. Is what excites me is that he was a person who was selected for one fellowship in USA, which very few people get in. And what you get in those fellowship is that you will be given almost $100,000 and you will be given one mentor. That's what changed Ritesh Agarwal's life, because that mentor and the mentor are people, those who are like Jeff Bezos, Flipkart founder Mark Zuckerberg, and Bill Gates, and all those kind of people are the mentor to that program. So Ritesh Agarwal spent a couple of time over there, and he came with an idea of Oyo. And you see, the world has changed for hospitality in India. You find an Oyo room in every corner of India, you'll get one. You'll get a neat and clean one. You'll get with a good one. This is what changed life. So finding a right mentor is also very, very much important in entrepreneurship. And obviously everyone has a mentor, whether it is Mukesh Ambani, whether it is Shiv Nadar, whether Bill Gates, Zuckerberg, everyone has a mentor. You may let the world know, or you may not let the world. It's totally up to you. Now, what we are done with the entrepreneurships, let me get into some of those different types of entrepreneurs. What we are starting with the social entrepreneurship, because this is something which most of the people are involved in. This is which benefits the society. So social entrepreneurship, coming to the social entrepreneurship, the very first name you will find in social entrepreneurship is of Muhammad Yunus, because he was the founder of Grameen Bank. And Yunus' special business itself is, but Grameen Bank, what does a Grameen Bank do? It provides the banking facilities to those rural people where our commercialized banks are unable to reach. Like, now they are obviously they are into each and every sector, but previously, like 10-15 years back, they were unable to reach into those areas. And this is where Muhammad Yunus has his idea, founder of Grameen Bank. It was a very boon for those rural people, where they can get a small loan to do farming, a small loan to do their business, a small loan to do their livelihood. And this has created a revolution. Now every commercial bank, whether it's a new bank, old bank, everyone you'll find in your village and in those utmost rural parts where they were not able to reach at that point of time. Coming to Tom's, it's a very incredible story. You will be surprised to know the more shoes Tom's sell, the same amount of shoes this person, Blake Mykoskis, it gives to those people who can't afford shoes. You see the idea, and you see the philanthropy, and you see the social responsibility, and this is what social entrepreneurship is all about. You buy 1,000 pair of shoes, he will give 1,000 pair of shoes additional to those people who can't afford those shoes. So you just think about, you're doing business as well as doing social responsibility, and you are doing your own cause. Coming to third, by Scott Harrison, he says each and every person in this world is entitled to have clean, drinkable water. You see what he does. So he used those areas where they are selling water as well, and they are donating water to this. Now, this is one of the very good social entrepreneurship coming up in Delhi. Somewhere I got to know about this one. This is Gunj. What they do in this social entrepreneurship is all about, they collect all the different kinds of used clothes from the people like us who used to throw, people like all those people who throw this clothes, and they try to provide these kind of clothes to the needy and poor people, and into those societies where clothes are like, they can't afford certain things. And it's not about clothes only, it's about much more than that. So this is what our social entrepreneurship is all about, and we must really appreciate these people somewhere. And if possible, we should try to contribute as well. The other business which I really like to talk about is small business entrepreneurship, because India is a country where, diversification is there, and this is where, small business entrepreneurship flourish like anything. India has been a country which has developed so many different small businesses that have become now a revolution, that has become now much big as, the unicorns of the different country. And this is where India's top small 100 entrepreneurs, they were combined initially, and as shared by some of those people who are rich capitalists in India, that India is a country of small entrepreneurs. You do not need to have a big one. You can be a very good famous in your own city. There is no need to go to other city to sell your product. You can be a very famous in your own city. I still remember there was a point of time when one person told me, there is no need to do great things in life. You can do one thing in such a way that you are known throughout your city. That is enough for you. For example, just think about a samosa wala in your city. If he is selling the best samosa in your city, obviously people can travel each corner of that city to just get his samosa. That's what you really need. You can be on everyone's table. It doesn't mean you need to sell samosas, but it means you need to have your product in such a way that people will come for you. So small business loans are there in many companies, in many banks and all those things for very young entrepreneurs. Ritesh Agarwal, the person of Oyo, he placed to value 1 crore support to small entrepreneurship. And this is what I think Shark Tank India is also doing. Like, they have been giving, they have been inputting their entrepreneurships and skill and their cash capital into those ventures, which they feel that is going to be a very big one for this in coming days. This is where small entrepreneurship is very much important. Now let's go after this one. Let's go into the entrepreneurship. What does really mean an entrepreneurship? Now we have done with the definitions. We are done with the examples. We are done with some of the success stories. But what an entrepreneur is? Who is an entrepreneur? Whom we say is a person who can initiate certain things, whom we can rely on to that person, that he is going to be a unicorn or something. And what are the different benefits of being an entrepreneur? Why everyone wants to, if we talk about media and all those things, everyone is thinking about being an entrepreneur. What does it mean? Does the tag means anything? Does that position mean anything? What is an entrepreneurship? So when you talk about entrepreneurship, the first thing is what I have got to know: be your own boss. Nobody wants to have a boss. Nobody, even your boss doesn't want to have a boss. And believe me, there is always a boss. If we think, okay, as an employee, we think, okay, my boss is, I want to be the boss, but then we forget that it's a hierarchy system. Everyone is there on anybody else's shoulder, So the first thing in entrepreneurship you'll come to know, or being and benefit of being an entrepreneur, is that be your own boss. There is nobody want to guide you, and this is what we see. This is what we want. Me, you, everyone, we want to be our own boss. Nobody going to bother us anymore. This is the very first benefit. Second thing is that you own schedules. You have your own schedules. There is no point someone will come and do that. Please do this file in the morning, or please do this stuff in the morning and do this in the afternoon. You have your own schedule. This is what is the second benefit, I will say, of entrepreneurship. Now coming to financial freedom, this is what everybody wants. Everybody in this world wants a financial freedom. That much of money should be in the pocket, that if I want to buy Burj Khalifa, I can buy. If I want to buy, or if I want to stay in Burj Khalifa, I can stay. If I want to go to Mauritius, somewhere else, I can go. That much financial freedom people want, but under necessity. Second thing is all about legacy. People want, okay, fine. People will tell me, my upcoming generation, my family generation, my background, everybody will say me that I was an entrepreneur. This is what people own, legacy, and ultimately the own lifestyle. This is what people are excited all about. And this is why they prefer to be an entrepreneur or entrepreneurship. Benefits of being an entrepreneur as well is job satisfaction. Coming to point one, job satisfaction. People feel that being an entrepreneur is a very satisfying job, because you are your own boss. Nobody is going to boggle your mind. Nobody is going to boggle your pocket and all those things. So job satisfaction is something which people are very much interested in. Success is something which is seen on entrepreneurship, and people feel that once they are in entrepreneurship and doing a very good business and they are Like, their stuff is going good and everything. So that is the success. So that keeps you pursuing, because when you are of your own, you do that stuff. Like, freedom, happiness, and ultimately is the money. So this is one thing which I would like to tell you. We always think like those people, the big entrepreneurs in India, the big entrepreneurs outside world, they run about money. No, they never ran for money. They never run for money. They never wanted to have money. The thing is that they wanted to succeed, and that success gave them the money. Mark Zuckerberg, he never thought that with Facebook he will earn so much of wealth. He just created Facebook because he wanted to reach to each and every individual on earth, and that gave him the money back. So this is what money has always been in the last into the list of entrepreneurship. You just talk about a person who wants to initiate a business, entrepreneur, not exactly business, being an entrepreneur, and he will talk about the money in the end. Definitely money is on the list, but not exactly into the first. It is always into the last. Let's clear something about, like, it's a very puzzling entrepreneurship, business, employee. These are very puzzling kind of words. So let's make a little bit clear what mean by a entrepreneur. What do you mean by a businessman? Businessman is a person who wants to start a business from an existing idea or concept. Generally a businessman. What do you want to do? I want to do a medicine business. I want to do a medicine business. I want to do something else, something like that. Coming to entrepreneur, they want to business of their own unique idea. Microsoft was a unique idea. Facebook was a unique idea. Flipkart was not exactly a unique idea, but for an Indian scenario, it was a unique idea. How many of you know that Flipkart was initiated for selling books only? It was nothing else. They started with the book, and after that, they ventured into anything. So that was also a very unique idea. Coming to businessmen, they focus on cooperation. A business is basically set onto cooperation. Like, if you are a dealer, you want to get your stuff from the wholesale dealer, then you want to sell into the retail market. So it's more or less, it's a kind of a cooperation from one segment to the other segment. Whereas business entrepreneurship is also focused on cooperation, but is entirely different level. Businessman is traditional, whereas entrepreneur is an innovative and revolutionary. That is the difference between a core businessman and core entrepreneur. Stay safe, risk taker, where business always you want to do business in stay safe. The first thing you talk about a very business, people will say stay safe, don't waste too much of money. You have to, you have to take care of your belongings. Whereas an entrepreneur, it's always a risky business. You never know how the person, the employee, the company, the market will respond to your topic or respond to your subject, being an entrepreneur. So you never know exactly. You have to be accountable for that one. Business is always, we tend business to be profit oriented, where entrepreneurs, as I said, you entrepreneur is all about people, employee, customer, friend, and all those things. Business will automatically come to you if you are a good entrepreneur. In business, you hire people to increase business productivity, whereas in being an entrepreneur, you hire people to give them productivity. You hire people and you give them different kind of productivity, and this is where you make them employ. And this is where Indian government is trying to put us into a scene where lot of companies should come, so that we can reduce the unemployability in India. Businessman a market player, whereas entrepreneur is a market leader. It's not a player. This is what the major difference is. Now let's talk about employee and entrepreneur. It's always good to be an there is nothing wrong in being an employee, but being an entrepreneurship is more rewarding business. It's, and just to make sure, it's not for everyone. Being an entrepreneur, it takes commitment, and this is where we need to think. The current generation, upcoming current generation, really need to think whether we can take up those challenges of being an entrepreneur. It is very easy to sit on a table and say, even for me also, it's very easy for me to sit and say that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but that commitment is there in me to work onto that category. This is what is needed. Coming to employee and entrepreneurship, work, serious effort, support, income, and all those things are part of an employee. Whereas being an entrepreneur, you have different kinds of income, something which is to be earned later. No, you don't earn it initially. Work, something you always have to be excited. You have to find out the work. Whereas as an employee, you are giving certain kind of work which you really need to finish in time and you need to give. As an employee, your times are fixed and all those things, but as an entrepreneur, your times are not exactly fixed. This is where the difference between you always have to keep on thinking, and you have to find out how to increase the productivity, how to increase the awareness, how to increase the market value of your company, then you will be called as an entrepreneur. This is what the difference between an employee and an entrepreneur. I'm sure you must have gone through. Coming to the successful entrepreneurs characteristics, what are the different features of those people who were listed onto my screen? Those are successful people, like, characters. What are the different characteristics? Innovation. They have to be innovative. Your venture has to be innovative. Then only people will fund. You have to be passionate about your venture. Passion has to be there. Risk taker. Keep up to date with the knowledge. You have to be very much enthusiastic about your venture. Management, very good management skill is needed for you. Flexible, ambitious, open-minded. These are some of the features that has to be there. Open-minded is very much necessary, which I can say it without any hesitation that in India we lack this open-minded, because when I'm running one business, if my friend suggests me something, I will take, oh come on man, I'm doing the business. Why you want to interrupt into that one? This is where our open-mindedness lacks. We need to have an open-minded. Sometimes you may never know. Good suggestions may come from a person who is not in your own business. So that openness, that open-mindedness, flexibility has to be there. And ultimately, you have to be hungry for success. That success is very much necessary, and you have to be hungry. Without hungry, success will not come to you. Without being hungry, as you do not consume food, without hungry, success will not come to you. You have to be very, very hungry for the success. Now, I will go through some of those key points which are very much necessary for a budding entrepreneur and in entrepreneurship. A good mentor for the people. You have to be a good mentor for the supporting staff you have under you, where the venture you have initiated. The reason being, people look to you. People look to the leader. For example, you are running a company of 10 people. Every day you come to the job late and you are not interested. You keep on getting the time unattended. You are just, you are not interested into that one. The employees who are under you, they will not be interested as well. So this is where a good mentor is needed, because the person behind you look to you as a leader. So you have to be up to that level. You have to have a good training. You have to give them a good training. You have to keep them motivated. Why does this the company where sales boy and girls are there, every week they choose an employer of the week? Why? Just to keep them motivated. Because if you are an employer of the week, you get certain perks. You get an additional 10% or additional 15% or 20% a moment or anything kind of stuff they give you, because to keep you motivated. You have to be a good mentor, because people will come to you for advice. And being a good mentor, you will achieve success. Being a good mentor, you have a direction to go, and you can coach people and you can support people for their life. So this is where a good mentor is very much necessary for a good entrepreneur. And this is one of the quality you need to have in your hand. Excellent time management skill. This is something which is needed in every aspect of your life, but being an entrepreneur, this is something which is very much required. A time management. Now, what is time management? We always see time management is something related to do the job in time. No, time management is something you plan. For example, you all guys are in third, fourth, fifth year of your studies and all those things. Where you want to see yourself in another 3 to 5 years? If I ask somebody, people will say, I want to be engineer, I want to work in MNC, I want to work in all those things. But have you really jotted the time management for those stuff to do those work which will take you there? I'm sure 80% will, you may say yes, but I'm sure 80% hasn't done that part, because you really need to manage your time. If I have a dream in another 2 years, I need to get some time now to manage those dreams, to work onto that dream. Otherwise, in 2 days, Rome was not built in a day. That's the major concept. So you have to have an excellent time management each and every day. For an entrepreneur, it is very much necessary, because your each day counts at the end. So time management skill is very much necessary. And I must say, people in foreign countries, they are very strict to it. To go to your friend's house also, you really need to inform in advance that I'm coming to your house. Where in India, we really don't bother. Hey, let's go and see if he's there at his home or not. Obviously, nowadays phones and all those communication mode is there. We try to do that, but it was not previously. Whereas in outside India, you will always find that We take appointment to go to even our friend's house. Hey, I'll be coming on Sunday. Are you available? No, I'm not available. So you have to postpone your duties. This is what they do. And I have learned really a very excellent time management skills from them. This is very much necessary to get not only being an entrepreneur, but get successful in life. Just think about where you plan to see yourself in another year. Do you want to accomplish something? Are you really working for that? Are you really taking out from your busy schedule time for that one? If yes, then you are good. If no, then you really need to think of. Now I want to ask people, what do you see the person doing here? I'm sure you see him in one hand, he has a circle ball, in another one, he has a square in his mind, lot many different things are going on. What he's doing here is doing multitasking, which is good. In India, we say multitasking is really good one, but exactly multitasking is good for other stuff, but not for being an entrepreneurship. Because when you do multitasking, your productivity decreases, you are unable to focus on to certain things. So you have to limit your multitasking and you have to prioritize at one time, one thing. When you are thinking about innovation, you cannot think about productivity. When you're thinking about productivity, you cannot think about innovation. So when you're thinking about something, innovation, you have to think into that direction. And once you are done, then think about productivity, how to increase that one. So limiting your multitasking is, you schedule specific times to check and answer email. For example, nowadays you see people having a mobile phone in their hand, and at every 10 minutes or every 5 minutes, you see they keep on checking their email and all those things. What they're doing, they're exactly wasting time because they do not have to do anything. And we all do. So when you are sitting idle, you do that part, but not exactly when you're working onto something. So we are getting habitual into a mode where we keep on doing unnecessary stuff. Prioritize your day-to-day list. Put your phone on silent when it is not required. Most of the time, we used to see, we keep up our phone most of the time silent because we are doing onto certain work. So this will increase your productivity and it will help you to avoid multitasking. Get off social media. Social media is a very time-taking stuff. So you see people who always open your laptop and all those work schedule presentations and all those things, but on one corner they will keep opening their social media stuff. Why? Because they want to get themselves updated. That is something which takes your time. You just think about, you try one thing. You try to study for your exam and you keep a social media next to you. You won't be able to study. Or you try to study for your exams and you have a watch in your hand with time tickling in. You won't be able to study because that is distracting you. That is something which you are doing multitasking. You are focusing on two aspects. You are focusing on time as well as you are focusing on studies. So when you focus on studies, forget time. That is something which is very much needed. Entrepreneurs take calculated risk. Low risk, low return, high risk, high potential return. This is what is the mool mantra of entrepreneurship. If there were any risk, everybody would be doing it. This is something which is true. अगर किसी काम में कोई रिस्क नहीं होता तो शायद वो काम सब कोई करते. रिस्क है तभी तो कुछ लोग कर रहे हैं, तभी तो कुछ लोग नहीं कर रहे उस चीज को. So risk is very much important and you have to take a very calculative risk, very calculative. Now why I am saying calculated risk? Because you can't take a risk that will put your company out of business. Okay. Just think about you are on an empty highway and you have been given a new car or a new bike with you. You are riding that car. You are driving that car. How much speed you will go? You will go on to such a speed where you can easily control. This is what is calculated. You will not go on to a speed. I will not run into 120 miles per hour that I'm unable to control. I'll go into 80, 90, maybe I'll touch 100. But I'll not go beyond that because beyond that it's very tough to control. And if you go beyond control, you know what happens? such crash. This is what happens. So you have to be on a very calculated risk and you don't risk anything. But you think about how much risk should I put so that I can get a better benefit of it. Higher potential return needs higher risk. This is what we do. And then too, you are dealing with finances. Obviously, you will lose money. So you have to be careful. Money, money, money. It's all about money, honey. Everywhere, it's all about money. The more money you earn, the more money gets more money, more and more and more. It's all about money. But money does not make the world go round. What motivates business owners to be successful? 37% say that it's the personal achievement, lifelong dream. They never say it was all about earning money. You ask Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, anyone, they will never say it was all about money. It was about their dream. So 30% people say it's about their personal achievement, lifelong dream. 28% will say financial stability. Now, stability has a very different meaning. We feel financial stability like means no, I need a Mercedes Benz, I need a BMW car, I need a 5-story bungalow, I need to have a 1200 acres of farmhouse land. This is something. Financial stability means if I want to do something, I can do without any hesitation. But it doesn't mean I want to fly a space rocket. That is financial stability. 2% people wanted to giving back to community the way social entrepreneurs people are involved with, and 10% wanted to be a great customer, and 13% we never know. So this is what money doesn't make the world go round. Never run after money, because ultimately it will never take you to anywhere else. So achieving a lifelong dream is the main motivation for entrepreneur. Financial stability is second on the list. Think about financial stability is second on the list. Now, as I said, financial stability means that you are comfortable and you are able to make ends meet. It doesn't mean no, I needed few thousands only. Oh, obviously I needed few lakhs or few crores, but it doesn't mean I'm spending like anything. Okay, and money is definitely a motivator. Obviously, everywhere we work for money and all those things because that is needed, but it's not as important as entrepreneurs people assume. For an entrepreneur, money is not that important. What we generally think of, okay, come on, Dhirubhai Mani had a huge money, or Mukesh Ambani had a huge money, so they are running after money. No, they wanted to have a passion. As Mukesh Ambani said, disrupt the industry. Money will automatically come to you. This is what is all about money. Money makes money. Definitely, this is true. If we have money, money makes money. So risking your own money is a part of being entrepreneur. As I say, I wanted to be a very good entrepreneur, very bright entrepreneur, but I don't have money. So obviously, I will not be able to do so. So risking your own money is a part of being an entrepreneur, and enough money between your personal savings, credits, loans from family to get to do startup doing. This is what people generally do. And you will be surprised, those big companies nowadays, with how much money they were initiated. You talk about Hewlett Packard, it was initiated with $538. Now it's a multi-billion company. You talk about Dell, it was initiated with 1,000 rupees. Dell computer was initiated. Nowadays they sell one computer for more than $1,000. Spanex, basic apparel company, $5,000. Whole Foods, it's a food chain in USA based food chain, and people run like anything and they have quality products. It was initiated with $45,000. Under Armour, a sports brand, $60,000. GoPro, a company, extreme camera company, $164,000. So it depends upon year, like how much money they were done. So enough money to start a venture can come from your personal saving, can come from your credit, can come from your loan from the family to do the startup get going. This is what money is all about. Now, do we need, the next question is, do you really need a new idea to do a startup, a new idea for being an entrepreneur? Most people will say yes, but I will say no, because you do not really need a new idea. What you need, an innovation in an idea is necessary. Whether the idea is old or new, it doesn't matter. But you need to be innovative. You need to be exactly how we want to do that. You see, there are in this slide, you can see there are two things, Uber and Lyft. Now, they both are transportation based company. You can think of how much Uber is doing and how much Lyft is doing. They both are same company. For those who don't want to be an entrepreneur but think of a good idea, don't worry. Instead, thinking of an existing idea that you can improve. This is what they have done. They have increased the women ratio, where you were 52%, you used to be women. In Lyft, they increased it up to 60% compared to 14% men, and in the different category. So Uber created a business that improved on the concept of taxi car service. Lyft, simply they took up their idea, their model, replicating into Uber success, and they both are very much successful in USA. Exactly. So this is what you really need. You don't need to have a new idea. You can have, but you need to be innovator in that idea concept. Not everyone can be entrepreneur. This is the very fact of entrepreneurship. Not everyone can be entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs make up a small amount of population compared to professionals in the world. Exactly. And not everybody has what it takes to start and run their own business. Sometimes how it takes. The best example I would like to say here is how an entrepreneur business runner. You can think about Dhirubhai Ambani. He split his entire wealth into two brothers, Mukesh Ambani and Anil Ambani. Now you see, where is Mukesh Ambani, where is Anil? I'm not saying that he is a bad person or something like that, but I'm trying to say that The way he took decisions and all those things, his venture didn't ran off well. Whereas Mukesh Ambani, the way he took his ventures and all those things, his decision ran well. So ultimately, what it proves the point is that not everybody has what it takes to start and run their own business. It depends. It depends upon many factors, and not everyone has the personality and resource to do that. This either. So if you think about what 7 people billion do in Earth, only 400 million people are like entrepreneur. Rest everyone is working under them. So when we open nowadays, you guys, when you open your YouTube, you always see some people come. I never listen to them because it's very good to come sitting in comfortable zone and say. They always say entrepreneur is good. You should come out and here, read my book, read my stuff, read my videos, watch my videos, come and join me, pay something. This is what they're doing entrepreneurship. Like, no, I do not need that. If that is in me, I will be. There is no need to look around whether that particular stuff is in me or not. That particular entrepreneur I can be or not. In USA, 25% of people in USA, if you see 25% of US entrepreneurs are immigrants, those people who are from outside, because that was inbuilt into them. 15% of US startups having a value of 1 billion was founded by immigrants over the course of time. And then 31% of those venture founders are immigrant entrepreneurs. So you think about, if there is something in you, it will eventually come out. You just need to nurture it, and there is no need to look for it around everywhere. So you need to develop that part. Does entrepreneur really need formal training for entrepreneurship? It's not necessary. You may have a good education, but it is not necessary that you need to have an entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs don't need a degree to accomplish their dreams of starting a business. Degrees are certain things which people say you need to have a degree to do that one. That is the minimum eligibility criteria, but you really don't need to do that. Most entrepreneurs do not have even a college degree. Like, as it is said, when you see those cricketers and film movie makers and all those things, they doesn't have that graduation degree or post-graduation degree. That is not necessary, because what they are doing their best. So that is more important. Education helps, but it's not completely necessary for entrepreneurship. So don't you think that you are doing a BTech and then you really need to master, or you need to do an MBA to understand the market. No, it will help you, but it is not necessary for you. So that is something which you really need to build. If you look into 5% entrepreneurs, they do not complete their high school. High school or graduation was done by 20%, associate degree 14%, some college 17%, college graduate 26%, and postgraduate degree only 18% entrepreneurs had. So it means the other people were literate, but not exactly with very high and classical degree from those big institutes. Now coming to suitable age for starting an entrepreneurship, 35 is something where we are standing. Even I am on close, I will say a couple of years ahead of that 35, but this is something, an age where lots and lots of startups were found, because by the age of 35, you have literally seen the world. By age of 35, you have literally settled down in your life. By the age of 35, you really know what value money is and what society is. You have lived your life to some extent by the age of 35. You are beyond your bachelor age, you're beyond your educational group, and you must have gone through some basic hardcore educations as well. So 35 is something where you really learn, you really want to do something, and you have that energy to do. But that varies from person to person and varies. So most of the startups were found out at the age of 35, but 35, 40, 41, 52, 55, 65, they have been the different age where startup came into fun. For example, if you look into WhatsApp, Gen.com found the WhatsApp at the age of 35, whereas Pandora was initiated by Tim Westergren at the age of 35. But you look into McDonald's, which is a chain of food chain, it was founded at the age of 52. And Harland Sanders founded KFC at the age of 65. So you can think age has no limitation when it comes to entrepreneurship. The only thing is experience. Experience is something which is very much necessary. At the age of 35, if I consider, I have seen the whole world, I have seen what education India has, I have seen what education European country has, and I have also seen what education US has. So I can do an easily comparison between all those education, and I know that Indian education system is much more better than the Western education and the European education. But still, you see, people are fighting to go to abroad to do their study. It's not study, they wanted to do, explore the land. This is something which all about. So if you are unhappy with your current job and you have a mentality, funds and resources to be an entrepreneur, go for it. Entrepreneurship is on the rise for younger generation. Yes, younger generation on the verge from 25 to 35, younger generation wanted to be an entrepreneur. Now coming to startup ecosystem, the startup ecosystem in India, what do you really need to be into a startup ecosystem in India? Availability of capital, money, technical skill, entrepreneurial culture, experienced mentor, regulatory environment, collaborative culture, visible success, and risk tolerance. These are all things together. They are interlinked with each other, and they build up the startup ecosystem. So if you have few of those qualities, the more you have, the better you are. But if you have those qualities, you can get into this startup niche and you can have your own startup as well. India, to let you know, India has the third largest startup ecosystem in the world with almost 60,000 startup companies, big and small. And now these startups are not only developing innovative solutions and technologies, but they are also generating large scale employment. And today, out of the 13 unicorns globally born, one is from India. Now, unicorns are those companies which has a capital value more than 1 billion. So out of 13 companies, at least one is Indian. And this is where Startup India has been into this. Make up India, made in India, everywhere this thing is being called out. Composition of Indian startup, if you look, there are technology based startup 43%, non-technology based startup, these are of 57%. The average age of Indian startup founder is close to 28 years. Total startup founder which are women is almost 10% of startup founders are women, and I'm surprised this is increasing. This is really good. Approximate growth in the share of female entrepreneurs in the last 12 months has increased up to 50%. You can see majority startups and investors are from metro cities. So all these metros, because in these metro cities resources are available, resources not only in terms of finance, but resources in terms of infrastructure, resources in terms of knowledge is available. The new jobs created by small micro enterprises during the 93-27 has been more than 60%, and the number of firms in the last year has been doubled. So look for technology based startup. E-commerce is around like 33%, B2B is around 24%, consumer internet 12%, mobile app 10%, SaaS and other is around like 8 and 13%. If you look to non-technology startup, engineering 17%, construction 13%, agri products is 11%, printing packaging 8%, transport logistics 8%, outsourcing support is 5%, 6%, and others are like almost 32%. So there are many different categories, and I'm sure when you have gone through the Shark Tank India program, you have seen what innovative ideas and people come into. Like being onto internet or being onto their web series only, like they have increased their sales to millions and millions times. Startup snag record funding in January. It's some of that details that were I got it. Indian startup raised 3.5 billion in January 2022 only. 6 times what they did in January 2021. You can think of how much this startup is getting raised up. Like why how much people are getting interested into to input their money into this one. You see the growth. And in a recent, I got to know that Delhi has replaced Bangalore as the Indian capital startup. Bangalore, one time Bangalore was something, a dream for each and every student in India. Bangalore, going to Bangalore, because it was an education hub, it was a job hub, it was an IT hub, it was a amusement hub, everything. But nowadays it is being replaced because other metro cities are performing very well. Resources, capital, and everything is coming out in all the different metro cities. So you can see Bangalore added 4,500 startups, whereas Delhi added more than 5,000 startups into this, and Maharashtra already has highest number of registered startups into this one. So you can think how tough the competition is going on. I'll just go through some of the interesting startup statistics because this is really good to know. The United States is the leading country number of startups because they have more than 70,000 startups in that category. Everyone is independent, knowledge, technology, the government, the system is providing each and every resources to you. You think about today, you will have that resource tomorrow. So they are very fast onto that verge where things can be done. And this is why this startup number is increasing. 7.1% of the startup in the world operate in financial technology. You know, financial technology is what? UPI apps and all those things where you pay money, you get money, receive money, coupons and all those things. Anything you deal with financial technology, that comes under this. So 8%, almost 7.1% of startup in the world is in financial technology. The highest value private startup in the world is ByteDance from China. I don't know exactly what that is, but definitely this is something which is good enough. Like, you know, it's something unique where you are the highest value private startup app. Over 69% of the startup companies is started in as a home business. So 69%, you know, 69% company where people, they were thinking like, you know, to start something in their home, and that turned out to be, you know, Microsoft was initiated in a garage. So you can think of how this Microsoft was done. Only 14% of startups are able to become profitable. So only 14% of startups, you can think about what 14% of startups is all about. Competition is the greatest challenge when starting a business. Definitely competition is like, you know, 19%, 20%. You have to run ahead of other people. Otherwise you will be down. This is where you need to have innovative product, innovative startup and all those things. 58% of startup has less than 25,000 as their disposal during a startup phase. This is what I said, you know, you start up with your very own money and you end up somewhere. Like, you know, you have to be very confident about your startup. 60% of entrepreneurs agree that artificial intelligence is currently the most promising innovation technology. I think this is true because, you know, there are so many different kind of jobs where AI is required and we are lacking. As a technology background, AI is something which is very much needed to go. Coming to the list of schemes Indian government has for a startup, you can go one by one. That is the Startup Initiative, e-Beach Portal, Atal Incubation Center, Scheme for Support for International Patent Protection, Electronic Information Technology, Mudra Bank, Multiplier Grant Scheme. We will go just one by one. Credit Guarantee Fund Trust, Software Technology Park, New Generation Dairy Processing Infrastructure. So let's go Atal Innovation Mission. The Indian government is working with a mission that is Atal Innovation Mission, that every innovative startup has to come up. Think about an innovative startup and join us into the program by Government of India, where you do Make in India, Made in India program. This is where Atal Innovation and Incubation Centers are coming up. And you can read all those things about the Niti Aayog is taking care of this Atal Innovation Center. Think about the under this Atal Innovation Center is Atal Incubation Center. Now incubation center is what? They provide you support. They provide you physical support with an institute, physical support with the I will say nurturing your talent, physical support with growing your startup. So Atal Incubation Center, which are led by Atal Innovation Mission, gives AIC, each Atal Innovation Center incubative with a grant in aid of rupees 10 crore. Think about the money. If you have an innovative idea, you can get 10 crore to support your idea. So the funding will last for a maximum 5 years, where Atal Incubation Center will be part of Niti Aayog and provide financial and infrastructure support. This is what it is needed. Coming to e-Beach Portal is our first government to business internet platform. Now, this is government to business internet platform where portal's major goal is to reform and establish business-friendly atmosphere in the country. Like, you know, so e-Beach Portal is something. Infosys created this e-Beach Portal as a part of public-private partnership. So you can get some more detail about this one. And it serves as a communication hub for Indian investor and business communities. Lot many states have participated into that one. And with time, government will expand the scheme and services too, as well as also. There is another support for international patent protection. I must say that finding a patent is very much important for you to support your ideas. Because why I say, because once your idea has been released into the market, anyone can copy that one. So you need to have a patent finding, and it is very much necessary. I got 2 patents on my done. One was in India. One recently we submitted one grant where it was a very innovative idea. I am not going to discuss that in too much, but then the very first thing what we did was to file the patent immediately so that that idea cannot be taken care of. And that is under a startup business incubation center. So this is SIP EIT is a program that provides financial assistance to MSME and technology startups in order to foster innovation and recognize the value and capabilities of global IP. Because, you know, the ideas can be taken and copied anywhere else. You just don't know. Multiplier grant scheme. Now, multiplier grant scheme was established by Department of Electronic and Information Technology. We call it GT, to promote collaborative R&D between industry and academic. Now, as an academic, we do research. So how we can collaborate with the industry? These are certain programs where you can do. This startup scheme is funded of rupees 36 crore for startup incubator universities and accelerators in electronic and information technology, artificial intelligence technology, hardware service, and all those kind of things. So think about those kind. If you have an innovative idea, if you have something, you can literally you can do that part. Coming to this credit guaranteed fund trust for micro and small enterprise, which was set up by Government of India and SBDI. Now, this credit guarantee fund transfer is basically the availability of a bank finance without the hassle of collateral and third-party guarantee. This is something in which we in India we encounter hassle in processing of forms, hassle in processing of files, hassle in processing of our intellect ultimately, and that delays. So this is where your credit guaranteed fund trust was created by Government of India and as SIDBI to initiate those things. Then there is another software technology park scheme. Now, this software technology park scheme is a 100% export oriented scheme for the development and export of computer software. You must be aware that India is the hub of computer programming in the world, and almost more than 50% of computer programming scientists and all those in USA are Indians. So you can think about how India is developing into that computer programming, and it is very much necessary to protect those things and export those parts as a startup. Why we need to have a brain drain? We can do that part here itself. Then there is a New Gen IDEC, that is the New Gen Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development Center, which was created by Government of India and has inaugurated the New Gen Innovation Center development through advice, mentorship, and assistance, which is also very much necessary. Transform your idea into innovation. Now, once we have an idea, we need some person to tell whether that idea is good or not, and we need some experienced person. So how can you do those? So these are the platform which has been developed by Government of India, where you can get certified that the idea which you are thinking about is really going to be a good one or not. Then this is something which I really like, is the Biotechnology Industry Research Assistant Council, because being a biotechnologist, I need to look for those what it says. Now, BIRAC is a non-profit public sector enterprise set up by Department of Biotechnology, Government of India, as an interface agency to strengthen and empower the emerging biotech startup, where research and innovation and addressing nationally relevant product development needs. Now, BIRAC has supported so much of this program, is where the different biotech based industry to come up in India. The main objective of BIRACs are foster innovation and entrepreneurship, promote affordable innovation in a key social sector, empowerment of the startup and small medium enterprises, contribute through partners of capability and enhancement and diffusion of innovation, enable commercialization of discovery. The scientific discovery is what we made in our lab. If something which can be commercialized, this is what startup. Ensure global competitiveness of Indian enterprises. BIRAC aims to fulfill the objective through various schemes and programs. There are so many different schemes offered by BIRAC that is needed, and researcher, academic, entrepreneurs, startups, small industries and companies, etc., all they come under this BIRAC scheme for this startup. So some of the schemes of this BIRAC are under incubation support scheme is BioNest program. Definitely, if you have an incubator, you can look for BioNest scheme, where your incubator can be supported by BIRAC. But what you really need to do is you need to fulfill those criteria and all those things. Early stage support scheme. This is the best scheme in India currently right now. Big Biotechnology Ignition Grant. I am myself an applier of this grant, and to let you know, I submitted my proposal initially. We got a very good review, and we are submitting it again in the next call. So this is where you have innovative idea. You can go to big program. I will discuss a little bit more about big, which is a very key one. Then there is a Sitare program, Student Innovations for Advancement of Research Exploration, Sitare Appreciation Grant. There is EUA, encouraging youth for undertaking innovative research through Vibrant Acceleration Program. Then there is a late stage support scheme, that is BIPP, Biotechnology Industry Partnership Program, and there is SBIRI, which is a Small Business Innovation Research Initiative. Now, these programs you take up once you are a part of early stage support scheme. Once you have done with early stage support scheme, definitely you can apply to late stage support scheme as well. And research grant scheme, that is space promoting academic research and conversation to fund. Social innovative grants and themes are also there. SIPP Social Innovation Immersion Program. Then there is Experts, which is Social Innovation Program for products affordable and relevant to societal health. You know, you have a social idea, you really want to implement, you have an inclination for that part. You can easily do that by using Social Innovation Scheme. Equity funding scheme, that is seed fund, leap fund, ACE fund. These are all different kind of funds available. What you really need is to have an idea to get introduced into this one. And then there is a product commercialization scheme, PCP fund, where product commercialization program fund is needed. Coming to this big program, which I'm really interested in, the call is on 25th, the end line is for 25th. It is basically a call which is biotechnology ignition grant, and you get fund up to 50 lakh to support your idea. But that innovative idea must be having a potential for commercialization. It's just not like you have a research idea and you look for something else. No, that idea has to be commercial potential. When you have an idea of a commercial potential, BIG is going to really fund you out. Okay, and the different areas for funding are biosimilar system cells, agricultural, biomedical devices and diagnostic, industrial, biotechnology, and secondary agricultural, drug, including drug delivery and others. So related to biotech, these are some of those ideas where biomedical device, India is really working hard in that category. And if you look into some of those highlights, more than 6,000 proposals have been received, 500 projects have been supported, 125 startups have came up, 100 plus women entrepreneurs are part of it, 75 plus received their follow-on funding. Follow-on funding is like early funding and then late funding. 120 plus patents have been filed, and 5 networking big conflict meeting had been done, and up to 250 crore have been committed towards the development. So you can think of how much Indian government is investing into this one. Let me annotate, let me clear this, clear all my drawing. Okay, let me go to this one. Yeah. Now let's talk about, we talked about entrepreneurs, how, what, when, where, what to do, what are the different properties, what are everything. Now let's talk about a very crucial aspect, that is failure rate. Okay, how does failure rates of a startup happen? 95% of startup, basically the fall of projection meeting. Let me see if this is the next slide. Yeah, 95% of startups fall short of meeting projections. What you have projected, you cannot meet. Almost out of 100, 95% fail in that category. 80% fail to see projected return on investment. Let's suppose I've invested 1 crore or 2 crore in my startup. If I'm unable to earn that back in a couple of years or another year or another 5 to 10 years, what is the point? So 80% startup, they fail to see that part. 40% liquidate and lose most of their investment. Definitely, if you are not profitable, you lose. And 99% reason for failure is lack of planning and experience. So you think why I said planning is very much necessary, time management is very much necessary, because with planning and experience, 99% fail without any idea about planning and experience. So healthcare startups may sound intriguing, but because of their potential profit, because in healthcare there are a lot many profit, but you can't succeed without proper planning and experience. So planning and experience is very much necessary. It's not easy to start and run your own business. You need to accept failure as a potential reality. Failure is a reality and you really need to accept that. So mentality of entrepreneurs may not accept failure, but the reality is quite different, because entrepreneurs fail. You know, this is something which is reality. So till now we were on a positive side. Now let's come to onto the tough side, where we really need to think of 70%, more than 50% of US startups just fail in 5 years of the business, and 70% they fail in the 10 years. I may start a business now, but in another 5 years, I'm not sure whether it will be succeed or not. It may fail, and in another 10 years, it definitely 70% chances are there fail. So you really need to work hard to make it successful. This is what Jeff Bezos said, right? Start small and grow big, instead of starting big and grow small. So if a venture is going to fail, you need to make sure that you minimize the damage. This is the Mool mantra at the end given, that if a venture is going to fail, you need to make sure that the damage is very much minimum. Why do startup fails? What are the portion of startup fails? So 90% of startup fail within 10 years. And what are the reasons? No need in the market. Obviously, if there is a product and that is not needed in the market, it will fail. Ran out of cash, not that right team, competition, pricing issues, poor product, poor business model, poor marketing, ignore customers, lose focus, lose focus into other stuff, disharmony on team, investors, pivot gone bad, lack of passion, bad locations, and there are a lot many different reasons. So as a startup material, you really need to think what are the different categories where your startup is going to work, and you really need to make sure that you avoid all those different regions which are like can lead you towards failure. And this is where you need to work hard and hard, and you need to focus, and this is why you need to do less multitasking, because the more multitasking you do, the more focus you will lose. So this is where you really need to lose. Why startup fails? Because you can have a great idea and not be successful if you don't know certain things. For example, how to raise fund. Raising fund is very, very much necessary. You just cannot get funding from your own bank balance or your own credit card, because ultimately you need to pay. You cannot have money from your friends, families, and all this where, because ultimately you really need to work hard to raise fund. And this is what Shark Tank India showed. You have to be present, and then you need to raise your fund. Manage employees. Definitely you need to have a very good manager as an employee. You need to budget your finances. You just cannot I have just started a company, I have 2 crores in my pocket, I'll buy a Mercedes. No, that's not. You have to budget your finances and market your company, because your business won't last long. You have to keep on market. So just someone has a new idea, innovative idea, product and concept, it doesn't make them to be an entrepreneur. It's not necessary that I have a new idea and I just keep on jumping that I'm an entrepreneur. No, I have to make sure that the customer service strategy can support my idea. Customer service strategy, that is very much necessary. What I'm making a product, it is needed in the market. Then only I would be able to survive. No need in the market, as I said, ran out of cash, 29%, 42% no need in the market, 29% you ran out of cash. You started a business and money is gone. There is no money. Not the right team. Selecting right people is also very much necessary. Get out competed. Once you started a company and suddenly there are a lot many different companies coming in, you just got out competed the way boat has done. Now every person is having a boat, earless, headphone, headset, everything. No other company is getting sold off. Pricing cost issue. You do not need to be cost issue. Apple, too pricey, but still it is capturing the market because of its quality. Poor product. There are a lot many different Chinese mobile and all those things came in India, but nobody survived because of the poor product quality. No business model. You really need to follow a business model. A mentor. A mentor helps you to set up a business model. Marketing is very much necessary. You must have seen there are so many different companies coming in India for soap, shampoos, and all those things. But if you do not have a good marketing strategy, poor marketing strategy will lead you to the downfall of the company. Ignoring customers. You don't want to tie up with a company where you are being ignored. For example, Airtel, Dish, and all those things. They always focus on to serving the company, like Tata Dish and all those things, the Dish TV and everything. You try to dial a customer care, you will be lost. So this is what ignoring customer. Product miss time. You have to have a right product at the right time in the market. Otherwise, your company will be lost. Lose focus. Focus is very much necessary. Disharmony and team and investor. This is where your team has to be there. Then coming to pivot gone bad. If pivoting is not done carefully, how you are manufacturing, how you are doing everything, that is very much necessary. And the other important part is lack of passion. Once you start a company, you have to be passionate and keep on following that part. Bad location. You have to be, that is why more startups and all those things coming are metro cities, because in metro cities facilities and everything is already there. No financing or investor interest, that is also has to be there. You have to have financing and interest into that company. Investors should be there into your company for presentation. Legal challenges, and don't use network and advisors. You are not using your networks and advisors for the company. So this is something where you have to be very much necessary. Coming to burnout, you are just burned out for the day. You are not planning, you are doing too much of workout, you got exhausted, you are burned out. So over the course of time, just people burn out and they don't respond. A failure to pivot. So stubbornness and willingness to admit a mistake. This is what I say. You have to be open-minded to accept failures and open-minded to accept suggestions in a company. That is very much necessary. Starting up a business, failure rate by industry. So financial, insurance and real estate business, they basically fail by 42%. Education and health failure rate is 44%. Agricultural 44%. Services 45%. Mining 49%. Manufacturing, 51% of manufacturing businesses fail over the course of time. Construction 53%, and highest is on information technology. 63% of information technology fails. So you need to have, for example, just think about Twitter. A person initiated a business where you can just have 20 words to write a tweet and that is successful. But if someone gives 200 words, will it be successful or not? You never know. You need to try the company market. So that's how you have to maintain your quality. Some of the top mistakes what people do is building something that nobody wants. Don't build something. Build something which is needed in the market. Then only you will be successful. Second is poor hiring. Nobody wants. That is why in placement in companies too much of rush is there, because everybody wants to get the cream. Nobody wants to get the base, base material. So the company which comes first in your placement company, those are very high core companies because they want to cream material, cream students of all those things. Lack of focus. Fail to execute sales and marketing, spending too much money, failure to ask for help, ignoring social media. When you are marketing your company, you just cannot ignore social media. You have to be part of social media. Not having the right co-founder. So having a co-founder board is also very much necessary. Chasing investor, not customer, and then not making sure you had enough money. So these are some of those reasons which are through which the companies fail. Now I'll just go quickly. This is one of the last slide. I will not take much of your time already. It has been more than 1.5 hours. So how to start a startup? What are the points you really need to be into a startup? For example, you are just in the future ahead of your time and all those things. What you really need to do in this world? You need to sit down and write down and bounce with your ideas. You need to make a prototype. The very first thing is make a prototype. I'm just talking in terms of the grants as a where you want to initiate. You need to make a prototype. Make a prototype in your home, lab, anywhere else. Once that prototype is ready, you need to show that prototype to people who are there to fund. Granting, big grant, BIREC. For example, I'm a biotech, so I'll talk about BIREC, but you can go to IT and all those people there. There are a lot of different programs you can do. Show that prototype to more and more people. Then you work on that prototype until you make sense that prototype. That make people feel that prototype is working. Then you try to find a partner who can support you into that prototype. There is always like-minded people on earth. You can just find out. It may be India, it may be outside anywhere else. Then you registered your company as once you find people and all those things, you work on it, then you registered your company. Then you look for funding. Once you have registered your company, and either you can look for funding first and register your company later, or you can look for funding and then initially you can register and you look for funding. Once that funding is done, your product is done, manufacture is done, you launch that product and let everyone know that you have made something which is needed in the market. This is what it is needed. And then you start follow up with the users, whether they are getting benefited from that part or not. Yes, if they are getting benefited, you get 1,000 users, you grow 5% in a week, put hard and prove more and more possibilities, and you keep growing until you achieve success, and you set your target for coming years. In 1 year, I have to grow this much. In another year, I have to grow this much. In another year, I have to grow this much. This is what you set your target. But in case if you are not coming with a good feedback, you really need to work onto that product and you need to make it more and more and more better. Okay. And then you need to launch again. For example, there is an Airbnb, the way Oyo Hotel is in India, there is an Airbnb in USA. It's a company which provides you room and all those things on a basis which itself is just working on a table, but it gives you room everywhere in all entire USA. It was launched 3 times because, people were giving all the different kind of feedback, and over the course of time, that was literally developed. So with this, I would like to conclude my talk in just few points, which is very much necessary to take care. Entrepreneurship is not easy. The first thing I will say, it's not at all easy. Don't think that being an entrepreneur is something which I'll have on my head. No, it's not at all easy. Think about it before you venture. You don't need, second thing point I would like to say, you don't need to be a brand idea for a successful entrepreneur. You can have any idea, you just need to be innovative and you need to be an innovator. Although theoretically anyone can be entrepreneur, not anyone is cut out for the job. You must make sure yourself. वो बोलते हैं ना, एग्जाम मैंने दिया तो मुझे पता है कि मैंने कितना अच्छा लिखा है, तो ये आप अपने आप से पूछो कि क्या आपके अंदर वो क्वालिटी है बनने की, और एक्यूरेट पूछो अपने आप को, किसी छलावे में मत रखो. This is something because this will affect your life too much. Being too young or too old is not an excuse. आप कभी भी इसको शुरू कर सकते हो. There is nothing, or try to accept failure. If there is something you have done wrong, try to accept that part. Failure is a tough pill, but and is a tough pill to swallow, but it happens. We have to accept. किसी एग्जाम में मैं भी फेल हुआ, I have to accept मेरा पेपर अच्छे नहीं गया. That is okay. Money isn't the only motivational factor behind business owners. Money, there is lot more thing in life than money. You know, success, dream, and all those things. Passion होना चाहिए. Nobody is born entrepreneur. This is the hardcore truth. Nobody is born entrepreneur. ये जितने बड़े-बड़े लोग slides में हैं, then nobody that knew that they would be do something great. Like, you know, but their passion keep them doing something, and it's something that you really need to work on, work to accomplish. किसी भी काम को आधे में मत छोड़ो. If you start something, work hard. You just don't, you know, you initiated a startup company and you got failures in couple of attempts. Don't leave it. Like, you know, you really need to work on. Think about the problem, why my company is failing, why my stuff is failing, where I am lacking, and then work on it. This is what a review process is. I submitted my grant in the first big step. My score was very good, but I failed. I started working on that, but what was the reason for failure? I have submitted it again. Let's see what happens. This is where you do. And with this, I would like to, now that entrepreneurship have been cleared up, you can make an informed decision whether or not to pursue the path of entrepreneurship. I would like to say, अब इतना सारा details के बाद, you can literally think of where your entrepreneurship goes. So you need to decide. I would like to end the PPT with a quote which I really like, and this is for young generation. That there is nothing I believe in more strongly than getting young people interested in science and engineering for a better tomorrow for all humankind. This was given by Bill Nye, who is the science guy in US, and I agree with the comment. I rarely go by comment because, you know, I don't like that much, but this is something which is true. Young people interested in science and engineering. This is what India future is. We have to be interested in science and engineering for a better tomorrow and for all humankind. Thanking President IIT Truba, Dr. Manish Manoria, Executive Director, Truba Group of Institutions, Bhopal, Vice President, Dr. Sanjay Sharma, Sir, Convener, Dr. Manoj Tyagi, Sir, and Entrepreneurship Development Cell Coordinator. Especially thanks to Professor Amit Khare, Sir, for this invitation. And my heartfelt thanks to Professor Samir Daniel, Sir, Department of Mechanical Engineering, for coordinating with us onto this aspect. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful session with you.
Have you any query?
Student, any query?
Daniel, sir.
Student, any query?
Professor Jiten Mishra, present vote of thanks to our knowledgeable speaker of today, Dr. Sushant Singh, for sharing his expertise and experience with us in the field of entrepreneurship skill, attitude, and behavior development. We all have learned a lot for this session. Thank you very much, sir. I also thanks all who are directly or indirectly involved in this event. All participants are requested to fill feedback. Link is provided on WhatsApp group. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, and I look forward again. You know, it was really nice interaction with you. Although I see a less question, but that's okay, fine. You know, it is something a field which is evolving, and it will take certain time where people would be like, you know, coming with their innovative as well. What is more important is to nurture these people. This is very much important. The ideas and all those things. And no idea is big, no idea is small. I just always let my student know, whatever you think of, You should always be communicate with the team to think whether your ideas is you just never know how your idea will come up. So this is what I would like to say. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, General sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Shan, sir.